right, so tonight we have a story, and it's a crazy one.
Oh, yeah, this one's a doozy.
It all starts with a wedding.
The perfect wedding. Picture this.
Okay.
Foxwood Manor, in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous place. Big mansion, rolling lawns.
So pretty much like a fairy tale wedding.
Like straight out of a movie. And our bride, Melissa Harris, she's all about the details.
She was professional, right?
Exactly. Planned events for a living.
So this wedding, it was like her Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And she's marrying Daniel Cooper, a lawyer, successful guy.
They seem like, the perfect couple.
Picture perfect, really. Young, good-looking, successful, but, like they say.
Things aren't always what they seem.
Oh, no, not at all. And that's where things start to get interesting.
So the wedding day arrives, and I'm guessing not everything goes according to plan.
Well, at first, it's like a dream come true. But then there are these little things, these little red flags.
What do you mean?
Like the rehearsal dinner the night before the wedding. Melissa notices something's off between Daniel and her younger brother, Ryan.
Right.
He was the best man.
Oh, so the best man and the groom are acting a little weird. What's going on?
There's this tension, this weird energy between them. Like they're hiding something, they're whispering, sharing these inside jokes. And Daniel, he's almost jumpy around Ryan.
I bet that would make any bride nervous.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a sixth sense starts tingling for Melissa.
So was it just, pre-wedding jitters, or was there something more to it?
That's the question, isn't it? Melissa tries to brush it off, tells herself it's just stress.
Because who isn't stressed before their wedding?
Right, exactly. But deep down, she can't shake this uneasy feeling.
And then, I'm guessing, things take a turn for the worse.
Yeah, things go from bad to worse when Melissa finds a text message on Daniel's phone.
Oh no, who's it from?
From Ryan.
Her own brother. What did it say?
It wasn't like a full confession, but it was definitely, suggestive.
Enough to make you suspicious.
Oh yeah, more than enough. It hinted at something, let's just say, more than just a brotherly bond.
So, Melissa's about to walk down the aisle, and she finds out her fiancé might be hiding something huge from her.
And not just any secret, but potentially with her brother.
That's got to be devastating. I mean, what did she do?
Can you imagine? She's in total shock. She tries to confront Daniel, confront Ryan.
Did they admit to anything?
They both deny it, tell her she's imagining things.
Oh, wow. So they're basically gaslighting her.
Totally. They say it's pre-wedding nerves, that she's overreacting.
So what did she do? Did she call off the wedding?
Well, easier said than done, right? She's in her dress, guests are there, everything's paid for. It's like she's trapped.
Yeah, talk about a nightmare scenario.
It really is.
So she went through with it.
She did. Went through the whole ceremony, said her vows.
But I bet it was the longest walk down the aisle ever.
Oh, absolutely. Her heart wasn't in it. She was numb, just going through the motions.
And all this time, her brother's right there, standing next to them.
As the best man.
The best man, yeah. That's got to be one of the most awkward weddings ever.
Incredibly awkward. Melissa's trying to hold it together, but Ryan's giving her these looks, these little smiles.
Look like he's enjoying it.
Like he's getting a kick out of her pain.
Okay, so the ceremony's over.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the drama isn't?
Oh no, it's just getting started.
What happens at the reception?
It's this big fancy party, champagne, dancing, everyone's celebrating.
Except Melissa.
Exactly. She's trying to keep it together, but inside she's falling apart.
So what happens? Does she confront them again?
Well, Ryan decides to give a toast.
Oh no, this can't be good.
And it's not. He gets up there, starts talking, but his words are loaded.
Like he's hinting at the secret.
Totally. It's full of double meanings, like he's taunting her.
He's basically rubbing it in her face. In front of everyone.
He's playing mind games with her, and it's pushing her to the edge.
So she finally snaps.
She can't take it anymore. She pulls Daniel and Ryan aside, away from the crowd.
Oh, this is it, the confrontation.
It's explosive. Melissa is yelling, tears are streaming down her face. She accuses Daniel of betraying her, of having an affair with her own brother.
And what did Daniel and Ryan say?
Daniel, he starts to crumble. He tries to deny it at first, but then the truth comes out.
He admits to it.
He admits that he's been having an affair with Ryan.
Oh my God. Her fiancé and her brother.
The two people she trusted most in the world.
What a betrayal. So the wedding is officially ruined. What does she do?
She's in shock, flees the reception, locks herself in the honeymoon suite.
Trying to get away from it all.
Exactly. Just trying to process everything that just happened.
But I'm sensing the story doesn't end there.
Oh no, this is just the beginning.
What happens next?
Daniel, he follows her to the suite.
Oh no.
Fueled by guilt, maybe even some twisted hope that he can fix things.
And Ryan, where's he during all of this?
That's the creepy part. He disappears from the reception, too. No one knows where he went.
This is getting really unsettling.
So Daniel's in the honeymoon suite with Melissa. He tries to explain himself, apologize.
But I'm guessing she's not having it.
Not at all. She's heartbroken, enraged. They start arguing and things escalate quickly.
This sounds bad.
It gets really bad. Melissa, she grabs the ceremonial cake knife.
The one from the wedding cake.
That's the one. It was still up in the suite.
Yeah, now.
And in a fit of rage, she stabs Daniel. He collapses.
He's dead.
When hotel security arrives, they find Melissa, covered in blood, still holding the knife.
Oh my God.
She keeps repeating, "He lied to me. He lied to me."
So the perfect wedding ends in a bloodbath.
It's a scene straight out of a horror movie.
This is insane. But what about Ryan? Where was he during all of this?
That's the question the police are about to uncover, and let me tell you, the truth is way more twisted than anyone could have imagined.
Okay, so we've got a bride who stabbed her groom on their wedding night. It sounds like a pretty straightforward case, right? Like a crime of passion.
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, it's a pretty classic story.
Yeah,
but
right.
There's more to it. The police arrive at Foxwood Manor, and they're not convinced.
What do you mean? They don't believe her.
Well, they're not buying the whole self-defense story.
Why not? I mean, come on, she finds out her husband and brother are having an affair and...
Yeah, but there are things that don't add up.
I quit.
The forensic evidence, for starters.
What about it?
Well, the angle of the stab wound, the force used, it all suggests something a bit more calculated, not just the heat of the moment kind of thing.
So they think she might have planned it.
They're not ruling it out, that's for sure. Plus, there's the whole issue of Ryan, the brother.
Oh yeah, he just vanished, didn't he?
Oh,
God.
fun. And when they finally track him down, his story is full of holes.
What kind of holes? What's he saying?
Oh, you know, the usual. He was out for a walk, clearing his head after the whole confrontation.
Seriously.
Huh.
He just takes off, leaves his sister in that state.
And his alibi. Let's just say it wasn't very convincing.
So the cops aren't buying it either.
Nope. So they start digging into Ryan's background, see what they can find.
And what do they find? Anything interesting?
Well, let's just say Ryan's got a bit of a past.
The dark side.
Maybe a little more than that. Turns out he's got a history of manipulation, controlling behavior.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Left a lot of broken hearts in his wake. People who felt used, betrayed.
So maybe not the best guy to have as your best man, huh?
No kidding. So the cops start thinking, maybe he's involved somehow.
But how? I mean, he didn't stab Daniel.
That's what they're trying to figure out. They go back to the hotel, start looking at security footage.
Anything on the tapes?
Oh, yeah. And it's big. The footage shows Ryan entering the honeymoon suite.
Wait, what? When?
Just minutes before the murder.
So he was lying about not being there.
Big time.
Yeah.
And that raises a whole new set of questions.
Like, why was he there?
Exactly. What was he doing in that room with Melissa and Daniel?
So they bring him back in, right?
Oh, yeah. They confront him with the footage, demand to know what he was doing there.
What does he say?
He panics, tries to come up with another story, but it's too late. They can see he's lying.
So now they really think he's involved.
At this point, he's more than just a witness. They're starting to think he might be the mastermind behind the whole thing.
But how?
Yeah.
How could he have planned the murder if he didn't actually do it?
That's the puzzle they have to solve. So they dive deep, go through all his stuff, phone records, texts, emails, everything.
And what do they find?
Well, remember those text messages Melissa found? The suggestive ones?
Yeah.
Those were just the tip of the iceberg.
There were more.
Tons more. Hundreds of texts, emails, voicemails. They paint a very different picture of Ryan and Daniel's relationship.
So it was more than just a fling.
Oh, much more. It was intense, passionate, but also very manipulative.
Manipulative how?
Ryan wasn't just in love with Daniel, he was possessive. He wanted him all to himself.
So he saw Melissa as a threat.
A huge threat. And
Yeah.
the messages, they get pretty dark.
What do you mean?
In the days leading up to the wedding, Ryan's bombarding Daniel with threats,
Threats? Like what?
saying he can't marry Melissa, that he'll expose their affair to everyone. He even threatens Melissa directly, says he'll hurt her if Daniel doesn't break it off.
This is insane. So he wasn't just heartbroken, he was dangerous.
Absolutely. And then just hours before the murder, he sends a text to Melissa.
To Melissa, what does he say?
It's chilling, just one line. Go to the honeymoon suite. Confront him. He's been lying to you.
He's setting her up.
It's like something out of a movie. He knew she'd be emotional, vulnerable. He knew she might snap.
So he didn't have to kill Daniel himself. He manipulated Melissa into doing it for him.
Exactly. He orchestrated the whole thing, played everyone like a puppet.
Wow. So what happens to Ryan?
They arrest him, conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, the whole 9 yards.
So what started as a simple love triangle turns into this crazy conspiracy.
It's a story you couldn't make up. And the trial, well, that's a whole other chapter of crazy.
Okay, so the trial, it's got to be a big one.
Oh yeah, this thing blew up, media frenzy, everyone's watching. It was like a soap opera, but real life.
And way more messed up. So what happens in court?
Well, the prosecution, they lay out their case. All those text messages, the security footage, the whole shebang.
They're really trying to paint Ryan as the mastermind.
Yeah, they're saying he's this puppet master, pulling all the strings, playing everyone.
And Melissa.
They're saying she was manipulated, but she still chose to grab that knife.
So what's Melissa's defense team doing?
They're going all in on the manipulation angle, saying she was vulnerable, blinded by love, that Ryan took advantage of her.
So basically that she wasn't thinking straight.
Exactly. They even bring in psychologists talking about how emotional abuse can cloud judgment.
So they're saying Ryan's actions basically drove her to do it.
That's the argument. Without Ryan, none of this would have happened.
But how do you prove manipulation? It's not like a physical thing.
That's the challenge. The defense has to show that Ryan's actions directly led to Melissa's breakdown.
So the jury has to decide, was Ryan just a heartbroken guy who messed up? Or was he this cold, calculating manipulator?
And their decision has huge consequences for both of them.
I bet it was intense in that courtroom. What was it like when Melissa took the stand?
Oh man, it was heartbreaking. She's up there sobbing, talking about Daniel, about Ryan, how much she loved them, trusted them.
I bet it was hard to relive all that.
Yeah, and she's adamant that she didn't mean to kill Daniel, just wanted answers to confront him.
But she did stab him.
Yeah, but in that moment, she says she just snapped.
A classic crime of passion.
Yeah.
But did the jury buy it?
That's the million-dollar question. The prosecution's saying, yes, she was emotional, but she still made a choice.
To grab the knife, to use it.
Exactly. So even if Ryan manipulated her, they're saying, ultimately, she's responsible for her actions.
What about Ryan? What's he doing?
When it's his turn, he plays the victim, tries to act like he's the one who got hurt, caught in a bad situation.
So he's saying Melissa acted on her own.
Totally, trying to distance himself from the whole thing. But remember those text messages? The threats?
Oh yeah, the prosecution's not gonna let those slide.
They grill him about those messages, asking him to explain the threats, the manipulation, why he was in the honeymoon suite.
What does he say?
He cracks. Starts stammering, contradicting himself. It's obvious he's lying.
So his whole act falls apart.
Big time. The jury sees right through him.
So we've got the bride saying she snapped, the brother trying to play innocent, and the jury's got to figure out who to believe.
It's a tough one. So after days of deliberating, they come back with a verdict.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the verdict?
Melissa, she's found guilty. Voluntary manslaughter.
So they're acknowledging the emotional distress, but she's still responsible.
Yep, 15 years, chance of parole after 10.
And Ryan, what about the mastermind?
Oh, he gets hit hard. Conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, 25 years, no parole for the first 20.
Wow, so they really threw the book at him.
The judge basically said he was a danger to society, that his manipulation was toxic.
Jeez, that's heavy.
This whole case, it just shows you how powerful manipulation can be.
How someone can use it to control others, to get what they want, even if it destroys lives.
Exactly. It's a reminder to be aware, to protect yourself from people who try to exploit you.
Because it can happen to anyone. This case, it's a wild ride. Love, betrayal, murder, and a family torn apart.
And it reminds us that things aren't always what they seem. Even the perfect couple can have dark secrets lurking beneath the surface.
Well, that's it for tonight's episode. If you enjoyed this crazy story, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Tell us what you think. What surprised you the most?
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify for more stories just like this one.
Thanks for joining us on Whispers of Crime. Until next time, stay safe out there.
A rich man's world.